Hello,
Hi,
what's your name?
my name is Xena Nielsen.
And what country are you from?
I'm actually from Denmark and Somalia.
And what year are you in?
I'm moving on to my second semester, but I am still officially in my first year.
And what is the plan today? Where are we?
We are actually in Kamagawa downtown and we're at Camryn's place. We're about to dye his hair and twist it, so let's get started.
So, your hair's different from the last time I saw you. Like, what happened? What did you do to it?
I actually braided it last Sunday because I'll be traveling soon.
Did you braid it yourself?
Yeah, I did myself. It took like 9 hours just in front of the mirror. Back pain and leg pain, but you know.
Where did you get the extensions from though?
Can you imagine I actually got off of Shein? Like, I've had such a hard time because a lot of people want to order off Amazon here, but it's quite expensive and you don't get pre-stretched hair either. So if you get off of Shein, I spend like 2,000 yen on it.
I can't imagine you can actually do your own braids and this well. Like, when did you start practicing and learning how to do braids?
When I was 16, I moved to boarding school in Denmark, and getting your hair braided in a country where you're a minority is the most expensive thing you will ever come across, right? So it could cost almost 40,000 yen to get your hair braided. And first of all, my dad's not paying for something like that. You go from Kenya to Denmark and you're paying like 2,000 yen to get your hair done in Kenya. 40K in a European country, you're gonna learn how to do it yourself, you know?
Like, would you recommend learning how to do it for yourself?
It is a strong recommendation on my part, because even here, people are students. We have actually a lot of people here who do hair, and I think you'll see within the next few videos, there are a lot of people who do hair here. And the best thing to do is either learn for yourself or get a part-time job, baito, so you can pay for people to do your hair. But I don't know, the best thing I would say coming here, bulk buy your items, because I ran out of shampoo when I first got here, and the type of shampoo I use costs like 3,000 yen on Amazon. So if you're gonna pack your suitcase, make sure half of it is packed with your hair products.
If I could give advice, I'd say make sure you bring as much hair products as you can. Yeah. Whoa, that's very underrated. I think it's really interesting how you actually learned how to braid, and now it's turned into even a way that you can even provide for yourself in a way. I think it's really special. Do you do anything else other than braiding?
What we're doing today is dyeing hair. So I'm actually not the #1 expert at dyeing hair, but I've been doing it since I moved out and my hair hasn't fallen off yet. So, and this type of dye that we're putting in your hair, since you already have bleached hair, it's not gonna interrupt, your dreads are not gonna fall off essentially. But we are gonna be twisting your hair. I twist dreads. I do interlocking though. I don't retwist. I can retwist, but your preference is interlocking.
Like, how did you learn how to interlock and twist?
My brother had dreadlocks.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And I actually take care of my brother's hair when I'm in Denmark. They miss me a lot now.
Did you say you cut their hair as well?
Yeah, I do cut their hair. I'm not the best though. You'll have a bald spot in the back of your head, and you won't even know because I won't tell you it's in the back of your head. You can't see it.
So what are you doing right now? I'm seeing you mixing a whole bunch of things. Now there's a little paper in your hand.
The last time I dyed dreadlocks, I realized that you cannot use a paste like dye because you got to get inside the dreadlock. Otherwise, it's just going to fade away very quickly. You had that experience when you had red hair. That's what you told me last time. Yeah. So what I do is I actually mix together the dye in a bowl, plastic bowl, never metal because it has really bad reactions. And then you add in the box, it comes with aftercare conditioner, right? So the stuff that I just squeezed in. Okay. And you actually have to mix it together with the dye so it creates kind of like a liquidy format so it can actually enter your dreadlock. And since you cut up the foil before I got here, it'll make it so much easier for application. You
said you've been dyeing your hair since you were 16?
Yeah.
What colors have you done?
When I first dyed my hair, I did red, right? So with the red dye, I kept that in 5 months maybe. Then I went completely black, all hair black. Then I went blue, then I went orange. Then I had green for a little bit. And then I went to pink, and then I went to purple, and then I dyed my hair red. Red again was the first color that I've had in my hair for a very long time. That I kept in, because I realized my hair got damaged after a bit because I kept bleaching it to restart the color. Okay, so we're gonna go in with dye now, and then he has to wait a certain amount of time with the dye in his hair. So pink goes everywhere. That's just the way it is, because it will not dye areas that are not bleached, right? Especially with dreadlocks like yours, you get it, because yours is quite knotted from the interlocking. So I always work my way up a little bit higher on the dreadlock, just so that there's never a place that has, you know, no dye on it. Could I please have a piece of foil?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So, you lay it flat. Then you like tuck the dread this way. Like a little ball.
I never get used to this feeling. Like, aluminium foil touching my face is such a strange feeling.
And then you move on to the next section. So I basically go 3 at a time. And you have to generously add a lot of dye. Like I said, it needs to soak it up. So it's the dyeing, it's the quicker process out of the two, because when you interlock and when you're twisting dreads, that one takes longer. The smell.
Yeah, it's the smell that gets me every time. Like, I wish I could keep a straight face, but whoa, this thing is wafting into my nose.
May I have a piece of foil, please?
Yeah, of course. You know, I've never actually understood, like, why you need foil.
So, usually with color, you wouldn't put foil. You just put a bag over your head. But with dreadlocks, I just really want to make sure that it hits the inside area, right?
So, like, it helps it, like, soak in, almost?
Yeah, soak in. It creates an environment where it doesn't dry out the dye. So your dye stays moist.
Oh.
Because especially with bleach, why people do it, first of all, it speeds up the heating process. Bleach works because it's being heated, you know? So, can you keep your head up?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So it will speed up the process. That's why a lot of people, when they bleach, they don't bleach near their roots first, you know? But for foil with yours, it's essentially just to keep the dye, like, wet. Because once it dries, it's not going to connect to your hair. There's a whole science behind it, but I failed in high school, so I don't know it.
It's okay. Science isn't my strong suit either. If you say it happens, I'll believe you.
APS. So
Social science students in the house, you know.
social science. Social.
Big difference, big difference.
Yeah.
We don't do that, you know, quantum physics stuff. No, no, no.
Sometimes when I speak with people from APM, it's like we're a whole different world. They're so smart. They're literally so smart.
Got, like, all these math geniuses. Like,
the best thing to do in this process is also make sure that you wear a shirt that you don't mind getting dye on, like you did today.
yeah, I was like, I already have a stained shirt. Might as well just, if it gets more stained, I'm not gonna cry, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than, like, mess up my old sweatshirt or something. Because I think last thing I'd want is a shirt I really like to just have, like, little streaks of pink all over it.
So right now we're going to remove the foils because 30 minutes has passed. 30 minutes is the best time for you to keep it in. Even longer, actually. We kept it in for a little bit longer. So this is what the pink looks like now. It's seeped in, thank God. And when he goes to wash it off and we're going to redo his dreads, you're going to see what the color will actually look like. So now we're gonna twist his hair, and he doesn't like the actual, like, twisting of it, like palm rolling, so he likes a crochet. But I'll say the best part about interlocking your dreadlocks is it's so much easier for you to comb it out later on, because interlocking creates more of a braid pattern than a dreadlock pattern.
Yeah, so if you ever decide you want to do dreadlocks and then, you know, still want to be able to have a safe out, interlocking is the best way to go. Because you can just comb them out, you know, have your natural hair out again. And if you want to switch back to dreads, you can interlock them again.
Okay, so we're on the last one. You just tuck it. My favorite thing is I tuck it once or twice. No, definitely twice or 3 times, depending how long he's gone without a retwist. And then...
Alright guys, so that is what essentially my hair routine looks like sometimes. Today we decided to go a little different, add some dye. Dye, if I wanted to go to a shop, it's typically, from what I understand, it's typically pretty expensive. And you could ultimately always just buy it from the store, go home and get one of your friends. Or if you're really talented like Xena, you could do it yourself for yourself. I personally, I don't believe in myself like that. I don't want to have pink all over my neck and nose, so much rather have someone help me out. On top of that, if you have dreadlocks, you can get your dreadlocks done. You could learn how to do them yourself, or you can get people who actually can do them for you here in Beppu. So, keeping on that note, there's so much more we have to find out about how people from Africa get their hair done in Beppu. So catch us in the next video, and until then, stay safe. Get a nice fade. So, I hope you loved today's video, and I hope that we see you again in the future. Hey. I hope you liked today's video, and I hope to see you again soon. Hey.